You kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life feels lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me.
Last week, Pocono Raceway proved to be as tricky as the nickname would suggest, but here tonight we come to round number 6 and the end of the first half of SCL Winston Cup Series Racing season number 36. We are here tonight in Newton, Iowa, and the Iowa Speedway. Good evening, everybody. My name is Frank Marchese. Thank you very much for making us a part of your evening. Alongside me, my broadcast partner, Daniel Paulus. Daniel, kind of got back to normal a little bit last week. We had 13 cautions, the most on the season thus far, but still saw some great racing last week at Pocono with Johnny Wood taking his second consecutive victory.
We did see some great racing last week at Pocono Raceway, Frank. We did see a lot of wrecks there. We did see drivers bumping and banging into the walls in turns 2 and 3. But once again, Johnny Wood in that 750 won the pole there at Pocono and ended up winning at Victory Lane. So, can we see him doing that again tonight? Absolutely. So we're going to have to see how these drivers qualify here tonight at Iowa.
He's currently 6th quickest on the timing and scoring chart right now. Let's take a look really quick. We missed it last week, but we'll get back to it now. The point standings right now, Michael Matta currently holds a 44-point lead over Lilith Peters in the standings. Adam Lowe, with his second place finish last week, had a big jump in points, getting up to 3rd. Justin Lewis, Maxwell Caldwell rounding out the top 5. And this is, you would think, quite a comfortable lead for Michael Matta in the points, Daniel. But with the old NASCAR point system where it's 180 points for a win, that's not the one race lead that it is with today's point system.
It's not, and it's going to change throughout every race as we move forward on into the season. You're going to see drivers that have been on the top of the points, and they're going to move down, and that's because, you know, when you become a winner here after each race, you're going to gain a lot more points than who finishes right behind you. So winning a race is so crucial here.
Absolutely is, as we are about 2 minutes away from jumping in and getting this race going. We do have 2 returners coming in tonight. Chris Myers in the number 24 is back. That WJM Motorsports Garza Law Firm entry, making his season debut, as well as teammate Tillman. Now, Tillman, I know you guys told me last year and the year before that how to pronounce your last name. I don't remember if it's Hewer or Hoyer. I believe you guys said Hoyer, but I don't quite remember. If you can just let me know in the chat. But it is very, very nice to see those 2 drivers back here in this season, back here in this series. And tonight, it's going to be a pretty full field that these guys are going to have to compete with here tonight. Sitting here with 30 drivers that are going to try to make way around this racetrack.
You're going to see drivers working with each other here tonight, trying to use that draft during when they're in the front stretch and the back stretch, so then they can get a good run and each turns here at Iowa. We do see some drivers have some mistakes here in turns 3 and 4 here at Iowa Speedway. You see them hit the wall, and that's just because, you know, it's bumpy in turn 3 and 4, and the cars, when they go over these bumps, they get really hard to drive. So we're gonna have to keep an eye on these drivers here in turns 3 and 4.
Absolutely. As you can see, we're about 5 seconds away from the practice session getting to a close. So that would leave Trevor Dalton as the fastest driver here in this practice session. Maxwell Caldwell, Austin Call, Mike Peters, Michael Matta, your top 5 here for this practice session, as we will now jump over into qualifying. Let's take a look and see who one of the first drivers out on track will be here in this 5-minute session. And it looks like the number 18 of Austin Call is going to be the one that wastes no time jumping out onto the racing surface here to make his 2 laps in qualifying.
You are going to see these drivers run that high lane, coming down the back straightaway, and be right against the wall. As you see the 18 there, Call running that top lane. Then he's going to dive all the way down to that bottom lane, and he's going to exit high, coming out of the turns, and that's where you can find the momentum heading down the back straightaway.
This is one of those racetracks where you will see drivers all over the place, because much like we see at the bigger tracks like Kansas and Homestead, there is a progressive banking here, so it is a little bit more cambered up at the top of the racetrack, which is why you're going to see drivers up there all night long. However, rolling that bottom is going to save that right front tire over the long run.
It is, and tire wear is going to be crucial throughout this race here tonight at Iowa Speedway. So you don't want to use your tire wear up so far, you don't want to use your tire wear right at the start of this race, just because then the other drivers that are saving their tires, you're just going to fall all the way back through the pack. So you're going to want to save your tires so much to where you can use them for advantage later on.
Fastest man in practice is now the fastest man in qualifying. Trevor Dalton at the moment. Justin Lewis goes P6 on his first qualifying attempt. Coming around for lap number 2. It does appear as though the inside is going to be the place to be, at least here at single car runs. Oh, big wiggle out of that number 7. That's going to end that second run, and that's what you're talking about, getting loose and wiggly over the bumps going through 3 and 4.
Yeah, right there, as you saw with Lewis. I'm going to expect to see a lot of drivers possibly do what just happened with the 7 there. I mean, these drivers are going to have to try to make a way so their car can go through those bumps no problem. But that's why they have pit stops, and they can also change what needs to be changed to make their car feel a lot better throughout those turns there.
Lilith Peters, second place in points, 16th on the timing and scoring sheet here in lap number 1. Lap number 2 puts her up to the inside of the second row, so a very good lap on lap number 2 for Lilith Peters, as we'll take a look at Steven Johnson. Johnson on his second lap. Adam Lowe, Josh Terrett-Hill also out on track. Matthew McMeekin, Barrett Flo, Blake Matta, Derek Wegman, and Charles Teed have not yet attempted qualifying laps, as Johnson will move up to the 12th position. Adam Lowe, second place finish, moving up to third in points. Last week at Pocono, lap number 1 for him gets him 8th quickest, but that's all it's going to get. Little loose through 1 and 2.
Yeah, right there. Another driver having an issue there, getting loose. I expect to see that a lot more tonight, but if this happens during our qualifying session, it's going to hurt their starting spot. And the farther back you start in the pack, the more you're going to have to try to push your car to get up to the front.
Josh Terrett-Hill is taking the scenic route here early on in this qualifying run. He's not yet taken the green flag. So he is the only one on track currently to take a qualifying time. Eric Schaus in the number 60 took both laps of his qualifying. Unfortunately, he was not able to set a valid time. So Josh Terrett-Hill, so Eric Schaus will start where his iRating would suggest he should start, as inching and crawling up to that start-finish line at about 14 miles an hour is Josh Terrett-Hill. And Daniel, that may not be the best way to start a qualifying lap. However, it is a great way to save your engine for future races.
Yeah, I don't think this is a great lap for him right now. But, I mean, maybe he wants to start in the back of the pack. I don't know. But right there, it's just not a good qualifying effort from him right now. But that doesn't mean anything. We see drivers that don't have great qualifying runs and end up winning the race at the end of the night. So you just never know. Absolutely.
So let's take a look at that starting grid, as Trevor Dalton will start on the pole with a 23.911 lap time. Austin Call will start to his outside in row number 1. Row 2 will see Lilith Peters and Maxwell Caldwell. Johnny Wood Jr. not starting on pole, but will start in the top 5. Michael Matta will sit to his outside, the points leader in row number 3. Chad Jones and Adam Lowe will make up row 4. Justin Lewis and Mark Brown round out the top 10 in row 5. William Solomon and Ryan Farrell in row number 6. Row 7 will see Steven Johnson and Todd Merkel. Chris Myers and Jonathan Casebeer will make up row number 8. Row 9 sees Mike Peters and Joshua Yarborough, with Jack Sanders and Isaac Love in row 10. Tillman Hoyer and Raymond Kimmel will sit in row 11. Jeremy Flanagan and Carolus Thiel, that will not be who starts in the 24th position. Instead, it will be Eric Schaus who gets bumped up as Thiel, one of the race admins. Barrett Flo and Josh Terrett-Hill will make up row number 13. Row 14 will see Matthew McMeekin and Derek Wegman, with Charles Teed and Blake Matta rounding out the inside rows here of what will be a 30-car field here tonight. Weather conditions here for today's race. We're just past noon in sim time. 3-mile-an-hour winds blowing to the west, which means that will be a crosswind going down the back straightaway and pushing the cars from the inside in turn 4. 70-degree ambient temperature, 82-degree track temperature, and Daniel, it's a light wind, but we've seen a lot of drivers in practice have trouble coming out of turn 4. That wind might not be plentiful, but it's certainly enough to mess with a loose race car.
it certainly is going to mess with a loose race car, and that is exactly what we don't want to see happen to these drivers. I know it's probably going to happen to a few of these drivers tonight, and if that happens to them, you know they're going to have a loose car, or you can just see by the way they're driving and trying to save the car as well, going through the bumps in turns 3 and 4. But they can also fix that by going to their pit stall while under caution, getting a few changes done to their setup, and possibly make their car a lot better towards the end of this race. But again, we might see some drivers once again spin out due to a loose race car, but we're just gonna have to wait and see how this plays out here tonight.
Absolutely. And again, it's going to be 30 drivers taking the grid here tonight, or at least that's what's expected. We do have 27 drivers that have successfully gridded up. Charles T., Derek Wegman, Blake Madu either not in the session or electing to pit start, as the cars are getting set to roll off pit road here, getting set for tonight's race. And this is a very, very good opportunity for the driver of that number 27, Trevor Dalton, who's had a couple of up and down races here, try to make some points up. He's gotten in trouble trying to make his way through the field. Now he doesn't have to do that. He's starting right from the front. Certainly could be a great night for his points race.
And it might well work out towards the end for Trevor Dalton to possibly get a W here tonight at Iowa.
Absolutely. So we will get, with this track being under a mile long, we will get that extra pace lap. Austin Call, another guy who's had kind of an up and down start to this season, starting on the outside of that front row. And as we mentioned, you see first, second, and third in points, all sitting right there, 16-1-58 here for the start of this race. And boy, what a start and what a race this shows that it could be here tonight. End of the first half of this season. Daniel, field's making its way through turns 3 and 4. Take it away for the start.
All right, thank you, Frank. As you see the pace car making its way onto pit road. Round 6 here from Iowa Speedway.
Or
the
not.
27 on the
Or
inside.
not. Or not.
Maybe not. Okay.
Extended by a lap. Now, this series has done this to us before. They typically will extend it an extra lap, but I figured with the 2 laps we got for pacing, I figured they wouldn't need to do that for this race. Apparently, I was very wrong.
Thanks for jinxing us.
Let's. How about this? How about we run through some of the in-car cameras that we'll have for this race? Does that sound good to you? Here's Lilith Peters right now in the number 1, riding on board with her. Take a look a little bit further back. That's William Solomon in car number 19 that we will see. How about off the top of the points leader, Michael Matta. Now, I believe we can take it away. Take 2, Daniel. Or, right. Yes.
Pace car is off, 27 on the inside, 18 on the outside. Here we go, round 6 from Iowa. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing in Iowa, folks.
Trevor Dalton working that inside line. Austin Call not quite able to make up enough time to be able to fight with Dalton, but here's a fight for third. This one's going to be between Maxwell Caldwell and Michael Matta. Matta on the outside, able to get the run. He will get up to third. 3 spots on the first lap for the 16.
16 right there in third place with the 94 of Caldwell. Falling back there.
Oh, around goes Peters.
All the way around. Turn 2, it looks like. Lilith Peters there in the 1 car. Let's take a look at this replay here.
She was side by side with somebody. I'm not quite sure who. Oh, maybe. Oh, bump, 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 and just lost it over the bumps.
That's exactly what we were talking about earlier in this pre-race and during qualifying. You see those cars go over those bumps, and that makes that car come right around. And that's exactly what happened with the one of Lilith Peters. Gonna have to bracket back up as you see on board here.
Doesn't look like much, but what we saw from the outside camera, it certainly did look like a lot. Johnny Wood getting into her, and that little shot there from the back that appeared to be the 41 of Matthew McMeekin, who got into the back of her. There is McMeekin in that 41. He's going to take it pit side here, and you can see the right front damage on that Busch number 41 machine. Peters coming around as well. See the damage on Johnny Wood's car. Yep, right front fender caved in. Right at that seam where the front clip meets the fender. Surprised. It looked, at least on the replay, like McMeekin didn't hit her nearly as hard as Wood did, but McMeekin looks like he got the worst out of it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how he got the worst of it, to be honest with you. It happens. It's only lap 4 going on lap 5, and unfortunately, they only get, I believe, Frank, correct me if I'm wrong, they get 1 fast repair.
That they do.
And this is not what those drivers wanted to use already going on lap 5 here out of 125, because we have a long way to go yet. And if they get another accident throughout this race, unfortunately, it would cause enough damage to potentially put them in a DNF situation here and not even finish the event here tonight.
Now, we didn't see the pit stop for McMeekin, but it does not necessarily look like he used the fast repair. Here's Lilith Peters coming around. She did not use the fast repair. You see the front end still a little caved in right around the splitter and that front grill opening area. So Peters still has that fast repair in pocket. And to that point, it's going to be a quick race here tonight. You got under a mile of racetrack, only 125 laps. You have to move through the field quick. There's not a lot of time for lollygagging here tonight, as Trevor Dalton gets out to a very good restart on that bottom line. Michael Matta on the bottom, looking to the inside of Austin Call. He's going to get around the 18, at least for the moment. Not clear, though, as they head down the back straightaway.
Austin Call and Matta side by side entering turn 3. It looks like Matta might have the edge here to get second place, but no, that 18 of Austin Call working that outside lane.
That high side is going to be the preferred line, especially if you're on a defense, as I believe Mark Brown in the 73 has had a problem. He has gone around. Let's take a look as you see him sitting on pit road. Here's what happened with the number 73. As got loose going into 3, able to catch it, save it, still wrecking. And got down off the racetrack into that inside wall and then decided to tow it. Back up front, Trevor Dalton. Nice little lead already, over a half a second.
Yeah, Dalton in that 27. Pulling away from that field, but look at the 18 of Austin Call trying to knock on that 27's door there. Right there in 3rd place is Madden 16.
Matta catching the wall there coming out of turn 2. Side-by-side battle here. This is deep in the field. This is for 21st position between Steven Johnson and Tillman Hoyer. Lilith Peters trying to work her way back up through the field. See these guys running the middle line. William Solomon trying to fight around the inside of Jeremy Flanagan in the 72, and Solomon looking down on the bottom like he's just trying to hang on here.
William Solomon in that 19 Toyota Camry. Out of
that might be why. And around behind him goes Barrett Flo. off to the inside, catches the rear end on that wall. That was fairly minor for what that could have been, and back onto the racetrack in the 24th, now 25th position as Jack Sanders looks like he might get by.
I think there might be something wrong. The 19.
Yeah, the 19 has been very slow in wrapping the bottom. Now he's gotten up into the racing groove. So unless he was trying to wait out the looseness, I'm not quite sure, as we'll go back up to the front as Michael Matta coming under a little bit of fire from Justin Lewis there in the 7.
Right behind Lewis is the 94 Caldwell, as we are riding on board with Justin Lewis out of Columbus, Indiana. Riding in that 4th position.
Great practice for these guys. Every lap in a Cup car they can turn around this racetrack, with it being on the NASCAR calendar next year. Meaning it will be on the A official calendar next year as well. This is a nice little battle for second here between Call, Matta, and Lewis. Lewis drifting up a little bit there.
Lewis right next to the 16 of Matta right there. It looks like Lewis is going to go around him on the outside, and that puts the 16 of Matta, I believe, in 4th place.
Yes, it will. Look a little bit further back. Johnny Wood Jr. falling back almost into the clutches of Chad Jones in the 75. Johnny Wood Jr. again, that right front damage that doesn't quite help around a racetrack like this. Car tends to get very, very tight when you damage the front end, and I'm sure that's what Johnny Wood is experiencing here.
And unfortunately, when your car gets tight here at Iowa, it's really hard to make the corners here. As you see, he is trying to make a move here.
He got one heck of a run as the caution comes out. This one appears to be towards the back. That's the, ooh, watch out. It's the 43 of Ryan Farrell. Take a look and see here what happened to Farrell. Steven Johnson in front of him. On the outside, just got loose off the top. Ooh, and a hard hit to that outside wall, and that's what will cause the caution. So 2 cautions. Good.
We're on lap 17 here, going on lap 18. Second caution of the night so far, but the 27 of Dalton currently in first still, with the 18 of Austin Call there in second. And Justin Lewis in the 7 there in 3rd place, passing the 16 of Matta. And I believe the 94 of Caldwell rounding out the top 5.
It is the 94 of Caldwell rounding out the top 5. There were a couple more incidents on that green flag run that did not bring out the caution. This is on lap 13 with Jonathan Casebeer here in the number 6. Coming through 3 and 4, getting loose. Watch out, again off the racetrack, so no caution getting called for that. And then a little bit earlier on in the run, this was Ryan Farrell again. About 10 laps prior to him going around, he goes around off of turn 4. Goes that little short access road down on the inside behind the grass. No damage there, but his most recent off, he dinged up that car a little bit more. We spoke during qualifying about Eric Schaus. There he is in the number 60 Hot Wheels Ford. Eric Schaus did not put together 2 valid qualifying laps and had to start towards the back. He's plus 16 positions right now, just inside the top 10. So Schaus has had one heck of a run to start this race thus far.
Gonna have to keep a close eye on that 60 of Eric Schau. See what he can do on this restart. Probably might gain another 5 or 10 positions. We don't know. But it's looking pretty good for the 60 so far in the start.
Well, gain 10 would put him in the lead right now as Matthew McMeekin just behind. They'd be lining up on the inside row together. Plus 14 after that second lap incident. So we will double it up. Get ready to go back racing here again.
7 of Dalton on your inside with the 18 of Austin Call on the outside. That is row 1. Row 2, we have the 7 of Justin Lewis on the inside. On the outside of him is 16 of Matta. As the pace car is making its way into turns 3 and 4. Re-rack them and let's try this again. Going on lap 21.
Here we go. Just outside of a century to go. Here at Iowa Speedway, into the restart zone they head. Green flag back in the air. Another very good restart there for Trevor Dalton as he will get clear. Justin Lewis on that inside. Not going to be able to do much, but Michael Matta goes up to the third lane trying to get to the outside of Austin Call. He's not quite able to get there either.
I thought he was going to make it pretty wide there, and I would have said, whoa, that's not a good decision to make there, Iowa. But it looks like the 7 of Justin Lewis right there in 4th position is under fire from the 94 of Caldwell right now. You see the 94 trying to get past that 7 car as you see the 7 making a move on the 16.
That top 5 has been pretty consistent here for most of this race. As Lewis gets down to the inside, Michael Matta goes all the way wide. He'll have the run coming off the corner. Will that be enough, though, for him? And it appears as though it will, at least for the moment. Seeing blue and gray in the back. First time this season we've seen the number 24 of Chris Myers getting up into the top 10. He's plus 8 on the night. Watch out. Around he goes right in the middle of the field. Caution is out. Matthew McMeekin in it again.
Third caution of the night for the 24 of Chris Myers out Chesapeake, Virginia. We're going to have to take a look at this replay here again, but I do believe he did get loose coming out of turn 3, heading into turn 4.
That's what it looked like. As doesn't look like bumps, just looks like he may have gotten on the gas a little bit too early. McMeekin tried the squeeze and didn't quite work that time. And this was moments before his teammate, the other returner, Tillman Hoyer, that was him getting loose off of turn 4. Let's go back a little bit further. There he is. So in 2 laps, the 2 teammates both around. One with significantly less damage than the other, as Austin Call is going to elect to pit from 2nd place.
The 18 of Austin Call coming down pit road. Let's see what he does here. Looks like he's going to get some new tires on those right side. Let's see if they're going to do the left side here. Looks like he's going to get all 4 tires put on.
Lilith Peters in the box as well. There's Ryan Farrell. Chris Myers, as you can imagine, coming down pit road. Josh Tarrant-Hill also down pit road. Right front damage on the number 8. So some pit stops here up towards the front. We know Michael Matta is only going to try to pit once here tonight. That has been his MO here in recent seasons. As we will go green next time by. Worth a note, Blake Maddu, Derek Wegman, and Charles Teed did not start this race. And Mark Brown, after that spin we saw earlier on back on lap 6, he retired for the race, so he is done 3 did not start and 1 DNF from what we were expecting here tonight. So this time, front row will be Trevor Dalton in control on the bottom. Michael Matta on the outside. Justin Lewis, Maxwell Caldwell, row 2. Adam Lowe, Mike Peters, row 3. Chad Jones, Johnny Wood Jr. in row number 4. Green flag getting set to come back out. And off we go again here from Iowa.
27 of Trevor Dalton getting a great restart once again, carrying the 7 of Justin Lewis there. But he is not going to give up on second position, as you see the 16 of Michael Matta there fighting for second spot heading into turn 3.
Lewis had a very good start out of that second position, second position on the inside lane. As we jump on board here with Trevor Dalton, look at Michael Matta and the run that he got. He got a great slingshot coming out of turn 4. Gets to the outside of our race leader, Trevor Dalton, points leader, looking for the race lead. A little bit of a wiggle coming out of turn 2. He's going to lose those spots again now.
As you see, the 7 wash up the track there just a little bit, but that 16 machine is holding on pretty strong there. Battling for second place right behind them is the 94 of Caldwell, and right in 5th place is Peters in that 95 machine.
Michael Matta did not quite get the run that last time around as he did the lap before. Here's Matthew McMeekin looking to the outside of Johnny Wood Jr. Both of them with matching right front damage. Just came very close. He was trying to peel himself off the wall, I think, there in that little tri-oval area. Matthew McMeekin up to 9th as caution is going to come out here in the back of the field. This one appears to be for the 77 of Joshua Yarborough. Josh Tarrant Hill also down there on the bottom. Ooh, that car looked like it had a rough hit.
Broken toe link for sure. No hood, so he hit pretty hard there. We're going to have to take a look at this replay here. 4th caution of the night.
Here's Joshua Yarborough battling with Jonathan Case-Beer. Ooh, we saw the 43 do the same exact thing, and then as he's coming down the track, poor Josh Tarrant Hill had nowhere to go.
Just nowhere for that 8 car to go. He couldn't slow down enough time, probably not enough time to react. It just happened so fast.
Let's ride on board here with Josh Tarrant Hill. You see the incident happen in front of him clearly, and he's not. I think we've been in enough open races to know exactly what he's saying right now, and that is hold your brakes.
I bet he probably didn't even know he was probably going to just come down the track there. He thought maybe he was just going to stay up there. But unfortunately, 77 just came down track. 8 hit him. Nothing else really to explain what happened there. It's just that another driver just caught up in another guy's incident.
So we'll have another unique front row. Trevor Dalton and Justin Lewis will be the 2 that sit on the front row. Of the drivers that have come into pit, Barrett Flo right now in the 92 came in on lap 17. He currently runs in 3rd. Of the drivers on fresh tires, that would be Austin Call behind him in 14th. He pit for 4 fresh tires on lap 24. So still less than 10 laps on his tires. And they're just inside the teens where those drivers are. Tillman Hoyer and Jack Sanders right now in the 20 and the 5. Running in 18th and 19th. Those 2 have not come down pit road, nor has anybody currently occupying a position in the top 12. And I think, and it's unfortunate to say, but with how this season has gone this year with, what was it? Let me see. Let me flip through notes here. Here we are. With 12 cautions at Daytona, 11 cautions at Michigan and at Kansas, caution free at Motegi, and then 13 cautions last week at Pocono. There may not be a lot of chances for these guys, if you do pit, to work your way back up through the fields. We're already on caution number 4 here tonight, and that's just the way, unfortunately, that's just the way this season has gone.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate, but don't forget, there could be that one long green flag run that you can take advantage of, and we're going to see how that plays out, but we don't know if that's going to exactly happen here tonight. As you just mentioned, we're on a 4th caution of the night, going on lap 35, out 125, and these short tracks go really, really fast, as you see this pace car in turn 4.
Being set to come on off. Another great restart there from Trevor Dalton. So he's going to give Michael Matta the look on the inside, as Matta not going to quite be able to get around Justin Lewis. Lewis is going to have that slingshot off the outside coming out of 2. And now Maxwell Caldwell looking to get up in the podium positions for the first time tonight in the 94.
Look who's in there in 5th place right now, Frank, is the 58 of Lowe. He had a really excellent, strong one last week at Pocono, and here he is in top 5 once again. Hopefully trying to get a W here tonight, as you see here on board with the 58 of Adam Lowe there.
Lowe has Mike Peters to his inside. So currently in a battle as we watch through the windshield. Watch out. No, 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 no. That was a hard hit from Adam Lowe. Oh, don't jump up out there. Well, with a fast repair, still have time to make it up. It's the good part about making a mistake early in the race. You have time. As the battle for second between Lewis, Matta, and Caldwell has simmered down, it's given Trevor Dalton an 0.8 of a second lead out in front of the field here. And Dalton so far has led every single lap in that Rusty Wallace throwback number 27 Kodiak machine.
Loving that scheme that he's running here tonight from Iowa Speedway. Pulling away from the 7 of Justin Lewis, who's in there in 2nd place. But once again, I think once we see these tires wear off, if we do have a long green flag run, I do believe we'll see the 7 of Justin Lewis catch him very, very quickly here, as you see the 7 run in that top lane.
Rusty Wallace may be a Missouri native, but he does have a street named after him around this racetrack. The street, and you'll see it if we go, well, later on in the race when we go to our typical drone shot. That street that goes down outside of turn 3 and 4, that is Rusty Wallace Drive out there. Street that goes down the back straightaway, Lincoln Street, and then a little bit further beyond Iowa Speedway Drive naturally. And as Daniel and I spoke about during pre-race, beyond the front stretch, as Austin Call working his way back up through the field, getting up into 7th now past Steven Johnson. Out beyond the front stretch of the main grandstands is Newton Municipal Airport. So we're not that far away from an airport here down the front straightaway. Like I said, it's the runway, a patch of grass, a taxiway, a patch of grass that's about half as thick as the one between the runway and the taxiway, a fence, and then parking for the racetrack. That'll make things interesting for the Cup race here next year.
It sure will.
Michael Matta getting into the wall there on that outside line. He's really starting to fall back here. We last saw him up in the third position. He's now trying to fight to stay in eighth, as that's not going to help his cause as Johnny Wood gets into the wall and backs Matta up as well. Matta down to ninth.
Ethan Johnson in that 44 Chevy right in front of him, trying to crack the top 5, but he did crack the top 10 here on lap 44. And the 24 of Myers also cracked in the top 10 here, so great seeing those drivers back up in the top 10 here early on.
Saw Myers spinning earlier on in 3 and 4. Ryan Farrell, the driver behind him, spinning down in turns 1 and 2, running 10th and 11th. As we work lap 45, it is all Trevor Dalton right now, but Justin Lewis starting to inch his way forward here from Iowa Speedway. You're watching round 6 action from Iowa Speedway here with the SCL Winston Cup Series. We'll be back right after this. Back here at Iowa Speedway, round number 6 of the SCL Winston Cup Series, season 36. We're under our 5th caution of the day. And during that break, you saw the replay of what happened to Chris Myers as well as pit stops. We'll show you again here what happened to the number 24 that brought us under our 5th caution of the night, and it's the same exact thing we saw Ryan Farrell do earlier on. Also the same exact thing we saw Yarborough do earlier on, and that's you just get over the bumps in turn 1, try to correct, car bites, and around it goes.
And I expect to see a lot more of that tonight, unfortunately. We are on lap 51, fifth caution of the night here from Iowa Speedway. As you see the 18 of Austin Call there.
Yep, Call is going to be back up into second spot as Mike Peters, Austin Call, Ryan Farrell, Matthew McMeekin, Raymond Kimmel, Tillman Hoyer, Jonathan Casebeer, Josh Tarrant Hill, and Jeremy Flanagan, otherwise known as your top 9 currently, did not come into pit. Everybody else has been down pit road. There are only 2 drivers on track right now that have not pit at all. That will be the 95 of Peters, who currently leads this race, and Tillman Hoyer in P6.
As you see the field now doubling up here as the pace car is making its way onto the back straightaway. Frank, we've seen an interesting 52 laps here so far at Iowa. What are we expecting here in this next restart?
Another interesting about 73. It's a long way to go still here at Iowa as we get set to go once again. Mike Peters leading the way for the first time here tonight. First driver not named Trevor Dalton to lead laps here this evening as Mike Peters gets out to that race lead. And a nice jump there from Ryan Farrell as well. He'll get up into P2. Not for long as Austin Call able to still hang it around the outside of the 43.
Mike Peters there going to the inside line, holding the lead here coming out of turn 4. But that 18 Austin Call is in second place. Going to the outside here, Peters, it looks like we might possibly go 3 wide, but that 43 backs off.
And again, a lot older tires for Mike Peters. He's been on the same tires for the entirety of this race. Hornet's nest here in the back as guys who've been up front that have just pit try to work their way through the field here. Look at where the 44 of Steven Johnson finds himself in. That's an interesting little predicament that he's in right now.
Yeah, I would say he's in the middle of the hornet's nest right now. I would not want to be in his position. I would rather be up towards the front where you don't typically see more wrecks. But right now, I see we are on board with the 44 of Steven Johnson with the 16 of Matta right behind him.
Just cars going everywhere as Ryan Farrell looks to the inside of Mike Peters as Austin Call has made the pass for the race lead. Oh, over the bumps goes Raymond Kimmel. Around he goes. Caution comes out. Ooh, Josh Tarrant Hill behind. Getting turned around as well. Those bumps have been fierce tonight, man.
Take a look at this replay. It did look like a 1-car incident until that 8-car did hit that wall.
And there's Kimmel. Just looks like he gets over the bumps. And then we see there in the back, that's Josh Tarrant Hill going around. See this again here from Kimmel. A little bit loose there. Bump, bump, bump. I don't think the 27 gets into him. It's just, again, the car got upset over the bumps. And you can see off to the back of the screen there, Josh Tarrant Hill way up on the outside having to lock it down, and he ends up losing the back end that way. Lilith Peters down pit road as well, and this has been a very, very long day for her in that number 1. Got caught up in a wreck early. Getting loose over the bumps in turn 2 on lap 2. She's been fighting back ever since. Has been down pit road 8 times here in this race trying to repair that number 1 machine. So Austin Call in the race lead. Mike Peters second. And again, leader does have the choice of lane here on his restart. And it looks as though Austin Call, for the first time tonight, will be the control car on the outside lane.
Peters on the inside of Austin Call right there in row 2. We do have the 43 and the 41 there. As we re-rack these drivers with our 6th caution of the night, ready to go back green on lap 60 out of 125 here tonight.
Just shy of halfway. As we'll see how this restart works with the control car on the outside line. Ryan Farrell, Matthew McMeekin in row 2. Trevor Dalton, Justin Lewis in row 3. A horrific start for the 27 of Dalton as he falls about a half a second back off the rest of the group, but makes it up going into turn 1. A good restart for the top 5 as Austin Call well out ahead here early.
As you see the 41 drifting up the track, battling there side by side with the 43. 43 cannot block that. He's going to continue staying on the inside line, but that 41 there of McMeekin struggling on the outside line. It looks like he might fall back a little bit as you see the 43 of Farrell making a move. Now Justin Lewis trying to pass him as well.
It's old tires versus new tires there. Let's take a look at the last pit stop laps for these drivers. Again, Peters has not come into pit at all in this race. Both Call and Farrell came in on lap 24. McMeekin on lap 31. And Justin Lewis, who came down when everyone else did, back on lap 48. So we got a nice little mixture of tires here. And right now it's the older tires that are helping Austin Call advance to about a 3/4 of a second lead here over the fresh tires.
Old tires.
Oh, synchronized slides by Peters and by Farrell. They both keep it straight. We stay green. It causes one heck of a bottleneck, but we're still racing.
So 2 drivers there get very loose out turn 2, but they do save it. But that is going to stack up the rest of
McMeekin, though, doesn't.
Go around.
Oh, it's a hard hit for Matthew McMeekin down on the bottom as there's the race lead. And there's where the holdup was. Trevor Dalton to the inside for 5th. Johnny Wood looks to the high side, trying to get around Mike Peters.
Man, what a hornet's nest we have going on here. Everybody's going to have to try to single file it out here pretty soon. You see the 43 of Farrell right there, side by side with the 750 of Wood.
Let's take a look at this synchronized slide again here, because both Peters and Farrell had identical slides through 1 and 2 and identical saves. You couldn't script that any better. And then coming out of turn 4, McMeekin off the high side, and right there is where the crosswind will catch you. And boy, he didn't have much of a chance now, did he?
No, unfortunately he didn't.
Sun starting to poke back out here as well, is still battling here just inside the top 10. This is between Steven Johnson and Michael Matta. Matta in 9th, Johnson in 8th. There's Barrett Flo rounding out the top 10 just behind them. Barrett Flo on the same pit and tire strategy as the drivers directly in front of him. Not on the same as Ryan Farrell, though.
drivers battling side by side. 16 of Matta drifting up the track, but he's going to have a run coming off the turn there on the 43. But Justin Lewis takes the lead here on lap 69 with the 18 car of Austin Call there, battling with the 60.
Those older tires for Austin Call starting to show their age. As Eric Schaus there as well. This is while we were looking at that battle further behind. Here is how Justin Lewis took the lead. They both slid off of turn 4. Austin Call, however, slid a little bit more. That has gotten Lewis out to a 1 second lead. This is the largest lead of the night that anyone has been able to hold, as Call has Schaus looking to the outside. Schaus going to try to use that momentum off the high lane. It seems to be where the passes have happened tonight. Get the run through 1 and 2 on the outside, Daniel, and then get the pass done going into 3.
And that's exactly what I'm seeing from multiple drivers here tonight from Iowa. They're using that high lane to get a good corner exit, and that is gonna it's gonna make them a lot better by advancing their position here. As you see, the 60 is exactly what he did to get around Austin Call, and right now it looks like the 18 is now under fire from the 94 of Caldwell. So we're going to have to see how that works out. And you see the 27 of Kodak also there.
Schaus got loose in 1 and 2. That backed up Austin Call a little bit and allowed Caldwell to get to his inside. Trevor Dalton in the 27, who led the entire first 48 laps of this race, getting back inside the top 5. As this group here, a second behind Justin Lewis, but a second ahead of Johnny Wood. There he is. Johnny Wood is in a very enviable spot. He has no one in front of him and no one behind him, as there's Steven Johnson running in 7th. He's about a second and a half behind Wood, so Wood running in a pocket by himself can really suss out his race car. Meanwhile, everyone else is going to have to fight.
Look who's back in the top 10. It's the 58 of Adam Lowe. Once again, we did see him in a wreck earlier on, but here he is in 8th place now, trying to get 7th place from the 44 of Steven Johnson. You have to keep a close eye on this driver here tonight.
Remember when he wrecked, Adam Lowe?
I do not, but I know it was earlier.
It was right when we started talking about him. So let's, for his sake, let's move back to the race for the lead as Justin Lewis has lost that second lead. It's now down to half a second as Eric Schaus, Maxwell Caldwell, Trevor Dalton has gotten around Austin Call in 4th position. They've left Call about a second and a half in the mud. So now 4-way battle here for the race lead as we work lap 77 of 125.
Top 4 cars in the pack, pulled away from the rest of the pack right now on lap 77. It looks like it's going to be a 4-car battle here between the 7, 60, 94, and the 27 here that are currently in the top 5. But that 60 of Schaus is gaining on the 7 of Lewis every lap, every corner. We're going to have to see how this plays out.
Times in red. Laps where Schaus was quicker than Lewis. As you can see, there's not much green on there, which would mean that Lewis was quicker than Schaus. Take a look this time by. It's a half a tenth last time around. This time it's a little bit more than a tenth. So that 60 is really moving. And Jeremy Flanagan in the number 72 has been having trouble all night. Has had a couple of moments this run. Currently running in the 24th position. Almost collides door to door with our race leader going through 1 and 2.
Jeremy Flanagan from Pennsylvania here.
This has been just a big wiggle there from Maxwell Caldwell right up the racetrack. Goes Caldwell. That'll allow Trevor Dalton to get by. But this has been just an absolute mare of a race for the Kaijikat Motorsports cars of Flanagan and Peters. Peters, after her incident on lap 2, currently running in the 18th position. She's been nowhere tonight after a third-place starting spot. And then Flanagan qualified 23rd, has had a couple of spins that haven't brought the caution out. Qualified 23rd. He's running in 24th right now. So that, the 1 and 72 as a team collectively have had a very, very trying night here at Iowa. As Schaus looks to the inside of Lewis for the lead.
Schaus going to the inside of the 7 of Justin Lewis in turn 4. But it looks like the 7 is going to have that momentum coming off corner exit here. 7 holds the lead very strong.
Lewis getting a good run as the caution comes out. And it looks like it's the 18 of Austin Call. It is.
I'm wondering if that's because of the tires situation
That
here.
was my
Is it getting
exact
more
thought.
rough?
Let's take a look here and see what happened with Call. Battling with Adam Lowe in the 58. Oh, Wiggle caught it up the track, and Lowe, an unfortunate bystander there, as
Poor Lowe.
18 was trying to catch his car up the racetrack and ran out of room to catch it. So under caution for the 7th time tonight here at Iowa. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. You are watching the SCL International Cup Series here from Iowa Speedway. Round number 6, the final race in the first half of the season. Leaders coming down pit road. We'll update you on what happens when we return. Back here at the Iowa Speedway, everyone comes in pit road, comes out of pit road the same way they went in. Justin Lewis currently out in front of the field. Eric Schaus lining up first car on the outside line. Caldwell and Dalton, your second row. Green flag is back in the air. A little bit of an iffy start there from Eric Schaus. Tried to get down to the inside line. Didn't quite work for him. He's going to go to the outside here in 1 and 2 with Maxwell Caldwell for company on the bottom.
Didn't work for the 60 Schaus to get on the inside, but he is now battling with the 94 of Caldwell. But right there is 7 of Justin Lewis, having a great restart once again, but second place, battling a lot.
Second place side by side right in front of that 27 of Dalton. This could afford Lewis an opportunity to get away. Adam Lowe getting his position back from that caution. He's up in 5th position now, battling away with Johnny Wood Jr. He's trying to go 3 for his last 3 here in this series. Schaus and Dalton really going at it. Schaus and Caldwell, pardon me, really going at it here for 2nd spot and not losing much time to Trevor Lewis, Justin Lewis. As a matter of fact, looks like they're gaining on the 7.
That might unfortunately happen here, but battling for 2nd still side by side is the 60 of Schaus on the outside and the 94 of Caldwell on the inside. None of these drivers giving anybody any
somebody got
hit.
loose there in the back. I think there was Isaac Love. It was. He's able to keep it straight, though. Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off there, but that was a big moment there for Isaac Love. Keeps it straight. And now back to your regular scheduled broadcasting as Eric Schaus now finally does clear Maxwell Caldwell for 2nd.
60 in 2nd place. As you see, the 27 of Dalton there trying to make a pass on that 94, searching different lanes here. As you see, the 27 trying that high lane, see if he's going to get a good corner exit here. It looks like he's going to try to make a pass here in 94 in turn 1, but that just doesn't look like it's going to happen anytime soon.
Not quite close enough. Is Dalton. Now he certainly is close enough. Gets a very good run off the bottom of 2. And Dalton goes to the inside. He's going to get that pass done. That was a unique pass from what we've seen here tonight. Power move by the 27, who was fastest in practice. Sat on pole, led the first 48 laps of this race before the pit cycle.
Yeah, if I was the 7 or 60, I'd be kind of concerned to see that 27 back up in the top 3 here because they know he's had a very strong run earlier on leading those laps. And they don't want him to get around them.
Ooh, almost got around himself, did Trevor Dalton. It's going to allow Maxwell Caldwell to get back to the inside as the caution comes out.
8th one of the night.
It's a big one. It's Isaac Love again in the 62. Winner at Daytona to open up the season, Isaac Love. See what happened here. Down the back with Austin Call. Lilith Peters in front. Oh, yeah.
Oh.
That's the first time we've seen that on that end of the racetrack. We've seen it 3 times through 1 and 2. K-Spear and Merkel getting into it as well. Certainly a close call for the 6. Doesn't get any damage, though, as Love, I believe, is trying to coast that car to his pit box to avoid towing so he can get the fast repair. I believe he's already gone. He has already gone a lap down, so there's not really much. Oh, hold on. Hold on. Apologize for that. Justin Lewis, Eric Schaus, Trevor Dalton. It's my nephew here. So, restart. Will be Lewis in control. Eric Schaus I would assume will be to his outside. Trevor Dalton, Maxwell Caldwell will be row 2. Adam Lowe and Ryan Farrell will be in row 3.
I do believe so. This has been an exciting race so far here tonight. We saw an exciting one last week at Pocono. We're seeing another one here tonight at Iowa. I can't wait for next week, too. That's going to be an exciting race.
Yep, start of the second half of the season at Charlotte Motor Speedway. One of the key events here for the SCL International Series. Talladega the week after, the Nashville Fairgrounds. The next three, then it's Indianapolis, Bristol, and then we close out on the old surface at Atlanta. So after tonight, it'll be 6 races down, 6 races to go.
Season's going by very fast here.
Yeah. This week has felt like a year for me at least, but I've completely lost you. This week has been very, very long, but this season has felt like it's gone quicker than this past week. That's more or less the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah, as you see this pace car with the drivers ready to go here once again. We're going to restart on lap 99 out of 125. It is now go time for these drivers, knowing that this race is going to be over pretty soon. As you see the 7 in that Geico restart zone. Let's go from Iowa here on lap 99.
Just over 25 laps to go. A very good restart there from Trevor Dalton. Trying to get to the inside of Eric Schaus. Not quite able to make it stick. That's 60. Again, we mentioned 2 invalidated laps in qualifying. Has worked his way through the field, gotten back on cycle with the race leaders, and has found himself up here in a genuine second spot, plus 24 for Schaus here tonight as Ryan Farrell looks to the inside of Maxwell Caldwell. At the same time, Adam Lowe and Michael Matta going at it for the 6th spot.
As you see the 43 of Farrell working with the 94 of Caldwell there. They're going to be side by side coming out of turn 4. Going to be side drafting each other coming down the front straightaway.
Oh, wreck in the back.
Side by side heading in turn 1.
There's a wreck in the back. I believe it's oh, wow, that's the 20 of Hoyer.
Wow, that's
hard into the inside
damage.
wall. Saw another car, a white car, I believe, that was going around as well. It might have been Johnny Wood. I'm not sure. He was racing around Hoyer. Let's take a look and see what brought out the 9th call. Wow.
Bam.
Those are a couple of hard hits there for Hoyer. Let's see it again here. This is down the back. It's Raymond Kimmel in the 412, way up on the outside. Oh, he gets into the wall. Yeah. It's both of those black and white cars.
Saw the 2 there also. Oh, Merkel also getting some front end damage there, but nothing major.
Interesting decision here. Ryan Farrell has decided to pit from a top 5 spot with about 20 to go when we go green.
He might have a strategy that nobody else is seeing right now that could possibly work here later on. But time's getting short for some of these drivers here tonight.
Yeah, and the question is not can he get up there, but will he be able to? Again, we're on caution number 9 here. And we'll be inside of 20 laps to go. So everyone who's on the back, in the back, especially now on newer tires, is going to be trying to work their way up quite at an expedited pace.
Our leader, Justin Lewis, in that 7 machine. Very strong runs the last few races we've seen from him. But the 60 also, Schaus, again, didn't run a qualifying effort earlier on during this event in session, so he did have to start from the back. And look at him, he's already in second place at the right timing. Let's see if he can get one more position, possibly getting a W here tonight, as you see the field racking up here on lap 104. Frank, it's been an exciting race to watch so far, and I can't wait to see what happens next.
Yep, absolutely. And you want to talk about the difference that a week makes? Justin Lewis last week at Pocono, 19th. Trevor Dalton running in third right now. Started on pole last week, 18th. Eric Schaus running in second last week, 23rd. So that's the difference that 1 week and one racetrack could make to some of these guys. 3 drivers that finished outside of the top 15, now with 21 laps to go, trying to get a win here at Iowa.
As you see the 7 of Justin Lewis gets a great restart with the 60 of Schaus, sitting there comfortably in second, but the 27 and 94 were battling for third place. But it looks like now they are single file coming out of turn 4.
There was something about that restart that didn't jive with Trevor Dalton, as he, from what we've expected, he should have been out battling with Justin Lewis for the race leader, at the very least battling with Eric Schaus. But coming out of turn 2, he was fighting just to stay in third, and now still struggling a little bit here in fourth.
You see the top 5, literally all single file here.
Lewis, a big wiggle going into 1.
I see the 60 of Schaus making ground here on the 7 of Justin Lewis. Let's see if he's going to make a pass here pretty soon.
Schaus has been very, very patient, and Lewis has been doing just that. He's been getting loose in these corners, slides big time up the hill in 3 and 4 that time. That allows Schaus to get right back to him, and again another wiggle from Justin Lewis. This is going to allow Schaus to get to his inside, looking for the race lead.
Side by side heading into turn 3. The 7 of Justin Lewis had the lead there, but here comes the 60 of Schaus. They're going to be side by side, but the 7 has that momentum coming to the line, and Justin Lewis is back in front.
Lewis had a good corner there through 4. Schaus not quite able to seal the deal and take the race lead for the first time tonight. It's been either Trevor Dalton or Justin Lewis out in front for a majority of this race. Austin Call has led some laps. Mike Peters has led some laps. But other than that, it has been either the 7 or the 27 out in front of this field. 16 laps to go.
Look who's in 8th place right now. It is the 43 of Farrell. He came down pit road earlier, and he was on a different strategy. And look, he's already cracked the top 10 here tonight, sitting there comfortably in 8th place here.
Yep, fresh tires. We mentioned during that caution, will he have enough time? Will he have enough pace? Certainly looks like he will. Up into 7th spot now as he's battling with Barrett Flo. Caution comes out. This time it looks like the 6 of K-Spear. It is.
See some nose damage there on that 6 Ford Mustang. Take a look at this replay here. 10th caution of the night with 14 to go here. 6 machine on the front straightaway heading into turn 1. Just getting loose here. Back end comes around, overcorrects it, and into the wall he goes.
Seen a variation of that wreck, that same exact wreck, about 5 times tonight, and no one has done it twice. Big shot there from Jonathan K-Spear. See, as we mentioned there, just behind the lap counter there's Rusty Wallace Drive, as we mentioned earlier on in the show. So we get a nice overhead shot of Iowa coming down to the final baker's dozen laps here tonight. That appears to be the one of Lilith Peters coming down pit road. Joshua Yarborough to follow her. A lot of great close racing we've seen all throughout this field tonight. And we're going to get racing again, hopefully for the final time. With 11 or 10 laps to go.
Seven in the lead here is controlling the field. He will be your leader on this restart with the 60 of Shouts right behind him. Shouts was putting him under tremendous pressure there on that last restart into that run. Will he do it again? We are about to find out here with coming to 12 to go under our 10th caution of the night in our round of 6 here from Iowa Speedway. Next week we'll be heading to Charlotte Motor Speedway. Can't wait to start off the second half of the season there and see how these drivers do the second half. As you see our field regrouping here and into turn 2.
So it'll be 11 laps to go till the end of this race when we go green. And you mentioned looking for the restart from Eric Schaus. I want to see Trevor Dalton on this restart. He had an abysmal restart last time around. See what he can do here, this time to the outside of Maxwell Caldwell. Michael Matta, Adam Lowe sitting in the third row. Barrett Flo, Ryan Farrell, first car on fresh tires, sitting in row number 4. Green flag set to come out. 11 laps to go here from Iowa. Green flag racing again. Good restart from Maxwell Caldwell. Will he be able to maintain the run, though?
That is the question that will be answered pretty soon here, as you see the 60 of Schaus and the 94 of Powell battling for second. But that 7 just took the lead, as we are 3 wide here with the 16 of Matta.
Oh, watch out, Michael Matta on the inside. He's going to be able to keep it straight, lose some spots, but we're staying green.
Matta losing a ton of positions there. As you see 94 getting very loose there. That's going to allow the 60 and 27 to go by.
A little bit of contact from the 27 as well, as Ryan Farrell again on those fresh tires, trying to push his way through. 3 wide yet again. Ryan Farrell up against the wall. The 94. They're connected. Watch out. There goes Farrell down to the inside. Very hard hit for Caldwell.
Oh my gosh.
Farrell again, who came into pit on lap 102, trying to make the best of those fresh tires. And inside of 10 laps to go, said, if I'm going to do it, I got to do it. And boy, oh boy, did that end poorly. Yeah. He went and done did it, all right. Let's take a look and see what happened here. See where we picked this incident up. There's the contact, hooked together. And just has no control over the car. Huge hit for Caldwell.
Low involved there.
It's a miracle that Farrell didn't get hit again.
That is a shame for that 43 machine there. Having such a good run on that pit strategy, and unfortunately got collected up in an incident.
See, there's the 43. There's contact there going into 3. Takes it to the outside. I don't know if Caldwell was upset with the contact or what happened there, but gave him no room on the outside.
Yeah, I don't know what that was all about.
Let's go on board here with the 94 of Caldwell. On board. There he goes to the outside. He'll have plenty of notice that he was out there. And to be fair, Caldwell's trying to catch that car the whole way and just nothing that could have been done.
That is a shame for both of those drivers. Running in the top 5, too. You see the 43 hitting pit road there with 6 laps to go here.
Couldn't
from
imagine
Iowa
why.
Speedway.
Austin Call was also in that 3-wide little deal there. He was on the bottom. He also came in on lap 102. Lilith Peters, who's coming into this race second in points, running in 6th now, ahead of Michael Matta, came in on lap 112. So right now, if they can get clean air and use some aggression, those two could very well be on the podium here come the end of the 4 or 5 laps that we'll have here of racing.
We're going to have to see how this shakes up here. I'm going to have 5 laps to go. I have a feeling this is not over. As you see, we are going to take another pace lap around.
Probably on 2 to go here. What a night it has been already here in the SCL International Winston Cup Series. Justin Lewis, Eric Schaus, Trevor Dalton, Austin Call, all looking for their first wins on the season. Here thus far.
As you see his pace car making its way onto the front straightaway. I do believe the pace lights are going to come off this time around. As they do, we are going to have the 7 of Justin Lewis on the inside. On the outside is the 60 of Schaus. Right there in row 2, we have Austin Call on the outside, and the 27, who's been up front for most of this race earlier on, is the 27 of Dalton. We're going to have to see what this top 4 does here. I think they're going to be battling pretty hard here. We're just going to have to see how this plays out as you see the pace car making its way onto the back straightaway.
So it will be a green-white checkered is what we'll have here. 2 laps of green flag racing, then the white, and then the checkered. So we are not dipping into our 3 green-white checkered attempts. Pace car coming off of turn 4. Green flag about to come out. Justin Lewis in control. Good start from him. Trevor Dalton gets a decent start down on the bottom as well, battling with Schaus going into turn 1.
Justin Lewis pulls away there. Looks like 27 there is going to grab second place from the 60 of Schaus. But now the 60 is trying to fight on the inside there.
It's the 18 of Austin Call on fresh tires. Side by side with Eric Schaus. Oh, big wiggle out of Schaus. That's going to allow Call into third. Here comes Trevor Dalton. Remember, Trevor Dalton has not been in the race lead since lap 48 when he came down to pit the first time. He's looking to the inside of Justin Lewis for the race lead now.
27 on the inside of the 7 of Justin Lewis coming out of turn 4. White flags in the air from Iowa Speedway, folks, with the 7 leading. But that 27 of Dalton is right there on his inside.
Spin in the back, but we've already taken the white flag, so this race will go green the rest of the way. Eric Schaus really hard going into turn 2. Side by side we go going into turn number 3. Justin Lewis has the preferred line on the outside, and that's going to help him maintain the race lead. Justin Lewis wins round number 6 here at Iowa.
What about that? The 7 of Justin Lewis hangs on to the lead for that last 4 laps there, but Dalton, great job finishing P2 there, and the 18 of Austin Call in P3. P4 we have Peters. Remember, she got caught into an incident earlier. Great recovery there, and round out your top 5 is the 44 Steven Johnson's, but Justin Lewis is your winner here tonight from Iowa.
And is going to burn it down here as we get set to bring these drivers in for interviews, all in one chat, so that was very nice of them. As we'll now bring in our race winner, Justin Lewis. Justin, first one on the year. That must feel nice, doesn't it?
About frickin' time. Mondays have been like the worst thing ever for me. Like, I've dominated, and this is not the sun cocky, I promise it's not meaning to be, but I've dominated Tuesday nights as the Street Stocks and Late Model Series. Started to dominate the trucks, and I haven't had it in the Cup car. And after winning the championship last season, I kind of expected to be somewhat close. I mean, I knew it, we restart points, drop weeks, whatever, but it's been a struggle. So after Pocono's turn 4 debacle, or turn 3, I should say, last week, it was just nice to finally do something. And I'll be honest, this is the worst short track for me, like in the history of short tracks. This one I can't figure out, even though you can run the top and stuff, but I just didn't think I'd have it. And I don't know, I found something in the middle of this race when I was trying to chase Trevor down, and something was working on my end, but then I'd like gain 3/10 and lose 4. So then I'd gain 5/10 and then lose 3 more. So it was a battle to learn it. But really, like, if you pushed it on entry at all with the setup tonight, you were spinning, and I think that's what we've seen a lot of. Honestly, League did a great job. This is the one track I figured we'd pace about the whole time, kind of like a Martinsville race. But it was really just a bunch of self-car spins, except a couple of cautions there that weren't. But yeah, good job to everybody. Thanks to you guys again, of course. It's been a wild night. I'm still shocked I'm on the front row, or won this race, I guess.
So you had mentioned how loose the car was on entry with this setup here tonight. How did it handle the bumps? Because it looked, from a lot of different drivers that we saw and a lot of the incidents that we saw, those bumps weren't helping anybody either. Yeah,
like turn 1 here in any car is like horrific. If you get about 2/3 of the way up the racetrack, about halfway up the middle lane toward the walls, just horrendous if you get up there. So you really got to straddle that if you can. Kind of reminds me of like a rut into a dirt track into turn 1. So if you hit it, and honestly, this car, the way it does handle the bumps, like for instance last week at Pocono with Austin, where he got loose off of 2 and got those bumps and it just spun, that's kind of how the bumps react to this car. And tonight didn't do that. I floated through it a couple times. There's a couple times, or like other instances in that, where depending on the run, I would hit it and literally just start to feel the car go. And you just had to check up and, save yourself, which about lap 90 of this one, I was starting to beg for tires. Like, I was starting to freak out because I knew I did not have the long run speed, and everybody behind me was definitely better than me on the long run. So I just tried really hard to, if they did get to me, try to go to the top, try to keep the car hooked up. And if you did slide that rear one time, it took a wild, it was a wild time, first of all, but it took at least 2 to 3 laps to gather the car back up. And if you weren't too careful early running the top, that would do it too. So again, this track's fun. This is not a fun track for me personally, but I'm shocked I won this one.
We head into the second half of the season. You close the first half out with the win. We go to Charlotte to open up the second half of the season. What are your thoughts going into Charlotte now that you have that win under your belt?
I'll just try to get back on the consistency board on Monday. I mean, usually there's about 5 or 6 guys right now that I see that I really have to worry about. And as far as it's been for me this season, I just haven't been one of them. Austin's yelling at me in the chat. But yeah, I just need Austin to shut up. Hold on, I'm gonna mute him just to be that guy. There it is. I don't remember what I was saying, but yeah, Charlotte will be fun. Not that good there. Hopefully can kind of pull what I said tonight. Like, I think in chat I said I'd run like 15th or worse or wreck in the lead, and I somehow did not. So hopefully we can carry the momentum, and hopefully we can see you guys on the broadcast team for Tuesdays and Wednesdays so I can quit bragging and actually get it seen.
I'm sure. I know we're working on it behind the scenes to try to figure it out. But anyone you want to thank? I'm sure Austin's now off of that list. But anyone else you want to thank before we let you go?
Yeah, I guess I'll thank Austin, of course. Shithead. Sorry.
You're okay. That's okay.
Austin, Trevor, Max, you had a bad deal there. Eric Schaus. Todd Merkel wasn't in our chat tonight, but I have to thank him. We put Merkel Racing into the car this season. He was kind enough to jump up to do all 3 series, or 4 series, I should say, for me. So, again, shout out to you guys. Shout out to Adam, our new race guys, the race control guys. They've done a phenomenal job. I have a feeling there's going to be some bickering at the end of this one. We're just going to have to see how it plays out. But again, thanks, guys. And I will let Austin gladly talk about being third and say I would have won, but Lewis is faster.
All right, your race winner here tonight, Justin Lewis. Bud, congratulations.
Thanks, boys. See ya.
Now we'll move to our second place finisher here tonight. That would be the 27 of Trevor Dalton. And Trevor, you dominated the first half of this race. Unfortunately, just after you fell out of the lead, thanks to the pit stops, you'd never really had a chance except for 3 laps to try to get back in it.
Yeah. I really wanted that one. And if it wasn't Justin, I may have thought about doing something dirty, but I don't like racing like that. It was a blast of a race. Justin did a great job. If I had a couple more laps, I think I could have kind of muscled underneath them and finally got it. But it was just I'm not very good on the initial starts. I need like 3 or 4 laps to get going, and caution comes out every 3 or 4 laps. It's not to my driving style.
How was it trying to get around on the bottom? We saw on corner exit that the outside, especially out of turn 4, was really, really dominant. But could you make moves down on that bottom if given enough time?
This track's tricky. You run the top and you burn your tires off, and then it doesn't matter. You're going to get loose. If you run the bottom, you kind of save your tires, but if the person outside of you wants to race you tight, it's really hard to get off the corner without losing the back end. And then, as Justin was saying, once you squeal those rear tires, it takes a couple laps to get them back.
We go to Charlotte next week. You finished the first half of the season on a high note with a second place finish and a pole. What are your thoughts going into Charlotte next week?
Well, this season's just been about not getting involved in the crap, and it seems like I just have a magnet in my car that just attracts it. So I'm just trying to survive and race people respectfully, and get as much as I can without causing a problem.
Anyone you want to thank before we let you go?
You guys in the booth, thanks for broadcasting it. Thanks to the admins and the league. And yeah.
All right, Trevor, I'll let you get off the Legends track. I think Justin's had enough trying to get around you running the little infield circuit. So congratulations, your second place finisher tonight, Trevor Dalton. And now we'll move to our third place finisher here tonight, Austin Call. Austin, you had fresher tires than the drivers in front of you. Given enough time, you think you probably could have gotten around them?
I don't think they were fresh enough. I feel like the only reason I was up there is because that huge accident and just everybody wobbling. But they were. I felt like I had a really good car to win this. I just got off on the wrong strategy. It's whatever. I can't go back and reverse what I did, but I feel like after a bit they probably would have roughed it up enough, and I maybe could have got them. But
you were one of the drivers that fell victim, if I remember correctly, to the bumps at some point during this race. How difficult was it to handle getting over those bumps tonight?
I mean, it wasn't as much as the bumps. It was just that like once I got like when I was on old tires, once I got passed by Justin, the handling just went down the drain, and it was really really loose all over the place, and eventually, um, I don't know if I hit a bump. I don't remember exactly. But I got up, I got into Adam, and I apologized immediately. I mean, I obviously don't want to get up into anybody. I'm glad that he only got. I think he went through the grass, and I went through the grass, and it was just EOL. But yeah, the bumps, especially in on the low line in 1 and 2, I saw. I think Maxwell at the end got a little loose on that. And that's what set up that whole thing in the front stretch.
We end the first half of the season here tonight. We start the second half at Charlotte next week. What are your thoughts going back effectively home for NASCAR?
I like Charlotte, but I also don't love it. It's not like this track where I felt like I could have won. That's a track where it might take me a little bit of practice to get back into the flow of things, and I think I can get a top 5 there, but I think a win is a bit out of the cards unless some stuff like today happened.
All right. Anyone you want to thank before we let you go?
Obviously, got to thank my teammates. Although I went completely off strategy compared to them today, so it didn't really matter. But especially during practice, just finding those lines that won't instantly spin you or kill your tires was nice to run with them. And then I know, especially with Trevor and Justin, I know if there was anybody else that wasn't on our team, that would have been a wreck. So got to thank them for not wrecking right in front of me because we're all teammates. So I guess them wrecking wouldn't have been that bad as long as I missed it. But I wanted to come across with a clean car, so I ended up getting that.
All right.
Oh yeah, sorry. Got to thank my grandma too. Sorry. Sorry.
Oh, that's the most important.
Thank you, Grandma.
Your third place finisher tonight, Austin Call, bud. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, Daniel, you can never forget Grandma on one of these interviews. You cannot forget Grandma. As a very nice night here, and I'm seeing in the drivers' discords, I'm saying that it was a very difficult racetrack to handle as far as the cars go, and the setup. Some of the drivers saying that it was really difficult, but it was a lot of fun. Also, some saying that it was not as bad as they thought it was going to be. And we heard as much from Justin Lewis earlier on, saying he was expecting a lot more cautions. So mixed emotions, mixed feelings about this race, but overall, still a good show.
It was an excellent show once again here tonight from Iowa Speedway. We did see some drivers do struggle through those bumps, and we did expect that when we were in qualifying. We saw that happen. We saw it throughout the race with the loose race cars and those bumps, cars going around, causing incidents. But other than that, it was a really exciting battling type race tonight. Congratulations to Justin Lewis. He actually has done a pretty good job here, and I know he said he's not pretty good here at Iowa Speedway, but he did prove to us tonight that he did dominate at the end here at Iowa, so he can check that off of his list there. Next week, we're heading to Charlotte for the second half of the season, and that is what I'm really looking forward to, seeing what happens there. But once again, it was a great night here tonight.
Yep, the second half of the season will kick off next week, as Daniel, you just said, at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, so it'll certainly be an interesting and fun night there. But before we go to Charlotte, let's wrap up here at the Iowa Speedway. Justin Lewis taking home his first win. 5 unique winners, by the way, of the first 6 races this season. Trevor Dalton, Austin Call, Lilith Peters coming back after we'd mentioned just having an abysmal day, comes out with a very, very good finish. Championship material right there out of that number 1. Steven Johnson rounds out the top 5. Barrett Flo, Michael Matta, Todd Merkel, Adam Lowe, and Jack Sanders comes home with a top 10. Joshua Yarborough, Chad Jones, Johnny Wood Jr., Isaac Love, Raymond Kimmel, through the top half of the field. Ryan Farrell, Eric Schaus, Maxwell Caldwell, Mike Peters, and Tillman Hoyer through 20th. Jonathan Casebeer, Josh Tarrant-Hill, Jeremy Flanagan, Will Solomon, Matthew McMeekin through 25th. Chris Myers and Mark Brown, the finishing results here from the drivers that started this race. Carol Steele Series admin, Charles T., Derek Wegman, and Blake Madu did not start the race here tonight. So that will do it for us here from Iowa Speedway. Be sure to join us as we kick off the second half of the season from Charlotte next week. Until then, for my broadcast partner, Daniel Paulus, I am Frank Marchese. Thank you very much for making us a part of your evening. And remember, as you walk down the road of life, please don't play in traffic. Good night, everybody.